Hello, everyone. Hi, this is Josephine with your WordTalk. It's been such an exciting February. The month is about to be over, but it's been so exciting. Just talking about public health and connecting that with God. There's been so much information that I have that I just want to share, but as far as the time that is allotted, I can't really share all of those, but I know in the future we'll definitely be able to cover those. Today, I will be talking about public health and God. Okay, this is the last, I believe this is the last session for that. And basically, I'm going to be connecting some of the health issues that we have, connecting that to the Word of God, okay? Because I believe that there are certain issues we can deal with mentally, physically, emotionally, that we can certainly find that healing in the Word of God, find that healing and that freedom in the Word of God. And I just wanted to touch on those connections spiritually, how they can affect our lives and our well-being, because I'm going to go back to the first time that I introduced the topic of public health. That health in itself is defined as the complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of diseases or infirmity, right? So we do understand that public health as a whole focuses on the physical, the mental, and the social well-being. The few areas that I want to cover today in connecting those health issues with the Word of God is the first one I want to talk about is not trusting God. Okay, that's the spiritual aspect here, not trusting God, and anxiety. Okay, Philippians 4 verses 6 to 7 tells us as believers in God that be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayers and supplications make your requests known, right? So I do understand that when we become anxious, because anxiety comes when we start to focus on one thing, when we start to worry about one specific things. Okay, we're worried about maybe you're worried about finances, right? How you're gonna pay your bills. There's a possibility that you might be evicted from your home if you don't have that money by a certain date. All right, so what happens is you start to worry about this thing continuously. You start to think about all of the negative outcomes from the situation. And what happens is you start to think and think and think. If you look, you start to feel tired, you start to feel dizzy. That's anxiety. It will cause you to feel dizzy. You start to feel your heart start to beat really fast. It's just all these things are going on because your focus is on this specific thing and how it's not going to work, right? So how that relates to God, because that is affecting our mental well-being, that's affecting our social well-being, and it also affects our physical well-being, because we're experiencing that our heart is beating very fast because we're worrying about this issue. People get anxious. Sometimes people have those that are maybe afraid of bees. You will see when they see a bee coming around, they have this huge anxiety. Okay, so you literally got to take some time and use strategies to calm them down, right? Because these are realistic things that do happen. Sometimes when we have experienced trauma in life and we see that issue comes back to us, or we see something that look like it, we may start to have anxiety once again because we're thinking of the negative outcome of that issue. Now, if God tells us that be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayers and supplication let your requests be made known unto God. So one thing I have come to understand when it comes to anxiety and our mental well-being is that when we are in a situation where we're becoming very anxious of something, how we can connect that spiritually is to come back to the Word of God, right? He said, be anxious for nothing. So why am I in a state of anxiety? Whether it has to do with my financial issue, or that just is putting fear inside of me, this caused me to have anxiety. I need to first pray. He said, by prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known. One thing I have realized, whenever I find myself in a situation where I'm feeling anxious, I used to be anxious a lot, and I thank God that He has delivered me from that, right? But I used to be anxious about various things, and one thing I learned to deal with that is I would take a minute and pray. I would take a minute and pray to God about that anxiety. Lord, I'm anxious right now about my finances. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but God, I put it into your hands. I give that worry to you, and I submit it to God. I thank God that He's going to make a way, because you see, even when we worry, we're not able to solve the issues a lot of the time. So why do we spend time worrying? The issues are in the hands of God. So one thing I believe when it comes to anxiety is to pray, submit it to God. Make your requests known to God, and that peace of God is going to rule it's going to guard your heart and your mind, right? And another thing is, instead of focusing on that issue, instead of focusing on the negative, focus on the positive outcome of the situation, because a lot of times we have the ability to attract what we think about, right? Okay, the next thing I want to cover really quick is I want to touch on self-esteem, because that is also something that is tied to our social well-being. Feeling not good enough, feeling not worthy, feeling that we are not qualified. That is something that affects our social well-being. Okay, we think lowly of ourselves. One of the recipe I find that helps us overcome that feeling of self-esteem, feeling not worthy and not capable of, is to be able to look to God. Okay, the Word of God tells us in Genesis 1:27 that God made us in His image and in His likeness, right? So if God have made us in His image and in His likeness, then that means that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That means that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay, I believe that I am a royal person. Okay, I am a queen by godly virtue. I believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I have the ability now, when I'm feeling like I'm not worthy or I'm not able to accomplish certain things, I go back to the Word of God and understand, what does God say about me? Okay, what is He saying? What does He say? Since I am made in His image and in His likeness, I cannot compare myself to anyone. I am unique the way that He has made me. Every hair upon my head, like He counts them. He knows how many they are. He knows the days of my life. I can rest assured, according to Jeremiah 29:11, that says that God knows the thoughts that He thinks towards me. They are thoughts of good and not of evil, to give me an expected end. So you see, no matter what we deal with in our physical life, in our minds, right, in our hearts, the anxiety we deal with, they can be tied to the Word of God, because whenever we are able to find strength, to find hope, to find peace in the Word of God, we have the ability now to function in total health, which is mental, social well-being, and also in our physical body. Okay, it has been found out, there's a study that I read of people that were 10 people that were going to have heart surgery, apparently, right? And 5 of those people, the heart surgery would carry out on them, and 5 of them, the heart surgery was not carried out. And the end result, they found out that even those people that did not get the surgery, so they all went in thinking that they were going to have surgery, right? But the 5 didn't actually have the surgery. But after the surgery, right, all of them thought they have surgery, and to the most what happened at the end was that those 5 people that didn't have the surgery, they were healed. Okay, so you see, the way we think, the way we see things, the way we perceive things is also a means in which we can walk in the fullness of healing. So I pray that this blesses you this week. Next week, I look forward to, let me just see really quick. So next week we will start a topic that deals with overcoming challenging situations. A lot of times all of us face challenges in our lives, and at times we don't know how to deal with those challenges. Some of us would ignore those challenges. So for the month of March, I would definitely be focusing on how to overcome challenges. I will be sharing some tips and also connecting it to the Word of God, as I always do on Giselle Word Talk. So I want to say thanks to all of you for subscribing, liking, commenting on the video, and sharing the video with other people. I hope that you have been blessed. I look forward to see your comments. Also, if this is your first time watching my video, please like and subscribe. I look forward to see that. I'm at almost 68 subscribers, so we're slowly getting out there, but please share this video. God bless you. I love you. This is Josephine with Giselle's Word Talk, and I hope to see you next week. Bye bye. God bless you.